Hey there. I guess I'm live. Yep, I went live. How's everybody doing? Finally, canning. Look at me. I'm a hot mess. A canning video. Although I already have my jars together. Hey, Susie Q. Hey, Helen. Hey, Donna. Hey, Josh Connor. Got your grandson making good food. Awesome. Hey, Bones. Y'all, it took me a little longer to go live. My son called me. Real truth. How are you? Hey, Miss CJ Blaze. Lisa R. Hall. I didn't see Lisa, but I saw Susie Q speak to Lisa. Oh, mercy. I've only been trying to do this for a couple hours. Hey, Sherry. And here we go. That's right. Hey, Miss J Stone. Kimmy K. Barefoot Lass. How are you, darling? 3% report. Hey, man. Hey, Josh. I can't see which bifocal to look out of. Oh my goodness. Let a few people get in here, but they can always go back and watch the replay. North Olympics. Oh, you're cooking your turkey today? Cool beans. Hey, Maria Blackwell. I saw that pop through, but I've got to get this going and then I'm going to look at your message. It's good to see you, baby. Snafu Snipes. Canning some deer meat, buddy. Now listen, just because this is canning deer meat does not mean this is restricted to deer meat. This is any meat, okay? Now, I am going to the most important thing that everybody needs to, let me see if I can dump this down and not, no, it's not going to dump down. I'm going to have to hold it up, I guess. I need a new tripod, y'all. Okay, got to get the paper towels. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I should have done it when my sister was here. Okay, I have filled my jars with the deer meat, half broth, beef broth, half water, okay? Some of them I put some onion in for a little bit of seasoning and a teaspoon. I'm trying something new. I don't like the flavor of iodized salt, and the Alaska Prepper told me that he will use regular iodized salt. I don't like uniodized salt. Did I say that right? So before I forget, I have got my canner with 3 quarts of water in it. Let's see if I can turn this. And I tend to forget. Now, it's not the end of the world if you forget this part, but I don't measure it. I put a splash of vinegar. That is, if you have hard water, your jars will get a milky film on them. That vinegar stops that. Now what I do is just put a douse of vinegar on a paper towel, fold it in half where my circle is, because you will not get a seal on your jars if there is anything. So I just make a little V and I run that vinegar around. See, it's V'd. So it kind of gets in and out around that jar. I use that vinegar and then I take the dry part of the paper towel and wipe it off. Then I feel. Do I feel anything at all on the top of that jar? Okay. Then I use fresh vinegar. Good vinegar tip. But I always do it twice. I take that vinegar around that jar twice. Some people use a warm cloth. Nothing will cut grease like vinegar. Okay? So then, and I should have gone ahead and done all the jars, but I didn't. And these are regular mouth jars. I like wide mouth jars. Now, I am not going to boil and soften these because I'm going to put them straight in the canner. It has to heat up. It will soften this ring. Okay? The little ring around this is what softens to cause your seal. I have to pressure can this for 90 minutes because I'm over 3,000 feet above sea level. Trust me, that softens, okay? Make sure your lid is in the right position. Do it finger tight. You don't crank it down, just one twist, okay? Always use this that comes with your pressure canner. It goes in the bottom. You don't want the bottom of your jar straight on the bottom with the heat. Okay. Now I'm doing, I thought I'd do this so I could talk. And I'm just cleaning the tops of the jars off. That's all I'm doing while I'm talking to you all. I couldn't dip my camera down. It wouldn't work. I have cold packed chicken, steak, beef roast, pork chops. Now, what I will do is, if I can, sausage patties instead of just, you can get one of the rolls of sausage and it will fill a 1-quart jar. Okay. Sausage patties, I have put them in the skillet and seared both sides of the sausage patty so as they pressure can. So I'm just running this around, still doing vinegar. Each, mine holds 7 quarts. Just run it around it. 1 roll of sausage will fill 1-quart jar. And just, you know, not tight, not squeezing it at all. But for sausage patties, I will pat them out and sear them on each side. My tenderized steak, I will sear it on each side, not cook it till it's done. And that is so I can, stuck in here. I can know that those patties and those tenderized steaks aren't going to stick to each other, because anything you cold pack, it can stick. But never, I have forgotten to put a splash of vinegar in my pressure canner, and we don't have hard water here. Let me tell you what, my jars came out with a white film on it. It washes right off if you do it the minute it's cool, you know, and you know everything is sealed good. But, you know, why make yourself have an extra step? So, just one twist. I only have 2 more jars to go. So how is everybody? Did everybody get fat and sassy and eat too much for Thanksgiving? I know I did. I'm about done with my leftovers. Oh my goodness. I'm too short. Hang on a second. I hope. Yes. I have regular mouth. I was going to say, wow, wow, wow. If I don't have rings and... But yeah, you don't have to be quite as careful with, oh my God, you got to boil everything, sterilize everything when you're at my altitude, because you're pressuring it for 90 minutes. Let me tell you, there's not a germ in the world going to last in anything that you're pressuring for 90 minutes. Ain't gonna happen. And these jars are loose. The juice can come out. It bubbles around, so you don't have to worry about that you need your around your ring dry, because as that boils, that's why you don't out. And I forgot to mention, see my headspace? If you get it much more than that, I never do my headspace above this. You know, some people say you can do, you know, halfway up that, depending on what you're canning. Every time I do, I lose juice. So I keep that water or beef broth or whatever below this point. Okay? And I don't, you know, where the jar starts to round, I don't put my meat above that. Now, this could use a little more water. Just put a little tap water in it. I didn't quite have that jar full enough. So, just clean around with vinegar on your paper towel. Then just put your jar, your lid on there and your ring. Just that tight. That's all you do. Just one circle. So there's 7. Okay, I've already got my 3 quarts of water in my pressure canner. Let me see if I can turn this so you can see it. Yeah, you can see those 7 jars in there. Okay, your lid, you always check to make sure this button is going to move in and out. Okay, not that button, this button. This helps if it's stuck, you're going to have a mess. And then you always look in the light and make sure that you can see through this hole from the inside. Okay, and make sure it's not clogged. And then I always have a hard time finding my V to put my lid on. Always do. Now, I have not canned on a flat surface stove before. This is a first for me. Oh, shoot, if I can get it on there. There it goes. Doggone. I always struggle with that. And I don't have my weight. This is my little kit. I showed it in another video that I use. Let me tell you what. I did not use my funnel because I always clean the jars really good with the vinegar. This you can use to get it out when you water bath. I don't water bath. This is what you use to get the jars, keep them level coming out. And here is my weight. Now, for my altitude, now this weight comes, if it's just a single weight, that's 5 pounds of pressure. Put one of the rings on it, 10 pounds of pressure. The third ring on it, 15 pounds of pressure. For my altitude, I have to use 15 pounds of pressure, okay? But you don't put it on there yet. Now, I'm going to tell you the process. We're not going to wait for this to happen. I turn my stove out on high. You have to wait until you see a full stream of steam coming out of this hole. This is where you set your weight, okay? For 10 minutes, you have to time it. So you have to watch. It takes a little bit. You can't just throw something in a canner and walk away, okay? It's a process. So I have to wait till this is up to steam, which usually takes about a half an hour. And I've got a good, not just a trickle of steam, you've got a good, you know, the minute it's a good amount of steam coming out here, 10 minutes. Once it steams for 10 minutes, that gets your inside of your canner up to heat, up to prep, you know, to the full temperature it's supposed to be. Then you put your weight on. Then you wait until this starts to jiggle. I let mine jiggle fast. And then I start cutting the heat down until it goes from this jiggle to just a regular jiggle. You want it to be a constant jiggle. So you have to stand and monkey with the heat a little bit. But that's the kind of jiggle you want. Once you get your standard jiggle, then you time that sucker for 90 minutes. Okay? for over 3,000 feet above sea level. There is a book that comes with your pressure canner. Mine's a Presto. I don't have an All-American. My grandma had an All-American. I didn't see any difference, and she had a Presto. But the book that comes with your Presto canner will give you every instruction that you need. Now, when I bought mine, it was $67. I looked not long ago, same daggone pressure canner is $119. So as the prices of things start to creep up and pressure canning has picked up a little bit of, you know, with people trying to get long-term food storage for cheaper, and it is cheaper. This is far cheaper than the amount of meat that you have in here in these 7 quarts is far cheaper than getting dehydrated buckets. And these will last for years, absolutely years. Now, what won't last for years is anything with acid in it. Your tomato juice, your tomatoes, your jellies and jams. They have a time limit on them because of the acid. But all I did was fill them up to the round part of the jar. Get a jar. Diced the meat. It was deer roasts. I put the meat to the round part of the jar where the jar starts up with the neck. Well, this is a wide mouth jar. I had regular mouth jars. But at the round part. And then also, once you get the meat and your liquid in your jar, it doesn't matter. It comes with a little flat stick thing in that kit. You do not want, hang on a second. This is what I use this time. Once you get your, whatever you're canning, your meat, green beans, whatever it is, and your liquid in the jar, use plastic. And you have to go down the sides of your jar and down in the middle of that meat and work your way around. You're going to watch air bubbles pop out of there. The air bubbles will prevent your product from cooking equally. So always have something, you know, to stick around in your jar. So you put your meat in, you put your liquid in, and then you get the air bubbles out. Then you put, you can or cannot, you know, if you're at a very low altitude, absolutely. I'm going to boil my lids and soften that inside of that ring. That's your seal. You want that soft. But at pressuring it at 90 minutes, I've done it with and without. It still seals. What won't allow you to have a seal is if you have anything on the top of this jar. So that's why I use a paper towel with vinegar on it and just put it in a little V and run it. It's on the inside and the outside of that jar, you know, with the product in it. Run it inside and out, get a different part of the paper towel, run it around the top again, and make sure my jar's clean. If your jar's not clean, it's not gonna seal. So, put your meat in, put your liquid in, fill it up, the meat up to where the jar starts to round, and then I fill my liquid right under where the ring screws down. Anytime I have ever gone above that, I lose liquid. Now, your product's not going to be ruined if you have meat that's not in juice. It just turns a little browner. I've tasted it. It does not ruin the product, but you don't want to lose juice out of here if you don't have to. So if you keep it with this headspace, you're more likely not to lose juice. Now, if you let it get too high and your jiggler going too long, and the pressure builds up more than it should, that can cause a little bit of the liquid to escape. So that's why you stand and watch it. So once I have steam coming out here for 10 minutes, a good stream of steam for 10 minutes, always 10 minutes, never a minute less, then my jiggler's going to go on here And I'm going to get it moving pretty quick so I know that pressure's built up. And then I'm going to back the heat off till I have a steady jiggle for 90 minutes. Once that happens, you leave the weight on. Turn your heat off. Slide your pressure canner off of the heat. Do not ever remove your weight. You wait, because that little mechanism I showed you to make sure it's working, that's going to pop up as you build the pressure in here. You have to let this set until that pops back down in the lid and it's flat like it is now. See, it hasn't popped up because there's not any pressure. But when it's down, then you take your weight off. And if there is no steam coming out, then you can open your lid. And then you use your handy dandy little mechanism here and pull those jars straight up and out. Do not have, see, I've got my ceiling fan on right now. When I take these jars out of the canner, I will have that fan off. You do not want to breeze, because your product in these jars is going to continue to boil for a while. Now, they'll seal, you know, even while the juice is boiling, but you do not put them on a cold surface. Always lay out a towel. Set your jars on a towel. I space them. I have found out that as they start to cool off a little bit, you'll get that little ping where they're sealing. And if they're all clustered together, it helps hold that heat from each jar. So I space them out on a towel. Never put your hot boiling jar straight out of your pressure canner on any kind of cold surface. On a folded towel, or even a tea towel will work. Just something to give a space between your cold counter and that jar. And then I spread them out, and then as each jar, you can hear it. There's nothing more precious than hearing, well, a baby's more precious, but nothing more wonderful than when you've spent the time to can and watch the canner to hear that ping, ping, ping as those jars pop. If you have a jar that does not seal and you have more things to can, I have taken that lid off, re-cleaned the top of that jar, put a new ring and lid on it, and pop that baby right back in the pressure canner. Now, it's getting 90 minutes pressure canning twice. That's some good tender meat, let me tell you. But I've re-pressured it, and it's fine. And we've eaten that stuff, so it's fine to do that. But if you are not going to run your pressure canner again, then if you don't get that seal, put it in the refrigerator and eat it, because there's nothing you can do to get that seal. So, and of course, I'm on my phone and I can't see if I have any questions. Hey, Alfred Phillips. We had a beautiful warm day today. I was going to go downstairs and look for my tree decorations while it was so warm, and I got lazy and I didn't. So, dealt with this meat, and then my sister came over to visit, and I wanted to do this video and show y'all. But it's all in this book. Every bit of it's in this book. And then there's 1,000 canning videos on YouTube that will take you step by step by step by step. Now, some people do things a little different. Oh, you have snow, Susie Q? We're supposed to get snow starting at midnight tonight till 1 a.m. Tuesday. So, glad I don't have anywhere I need to go. But I like the snow. Hey, Grant Harper, how are you? So, did everybody get all that? But I do. I raw pack. I just put my meat, beef roast, pork chops, sausage, chicken, hot dog wieners, kielbasa. I've canned about every meat that you can buy. Steaks, roasts, any meat you can buy, I've canned it. 7 inches of snow and more tonight. Holy moly. Hey, Terry. Hey, Miss Black. Didn't see your name, but I see Jay Stone speaking to you. Try not to forget to put your vinegar, a big old splash of it, in your water, in your canner, keeps the milkiness off of your jars. Now, once you get your jars sealed, leave them out. Leave them out for a day to make sure they're not gonna unseal. And then, like I said, the juice, that's why you don't crank, of course, now it's a wide mouth jar. I don't have a narrow one. You don't crank that lid down because this does move and juice can escape from underneath your ring. And it gets in the water in your canner, so you've got whatever juice of whatever meat you're cooking on your jars. So you leave them out for a day to make sure they are good and sealed, and you push on the top of your ring to hear that pop. If you get that, once you finish pressuring, that's not a seal. It is completely depressed. And you can push and push and push and push on that jar and you don't get a pop. But that's the ping you're listening for. When it seals, that goes down. But once you know you've got a good seal and you don't have any movement in that top of that lid, then you need to use soapy water and wash those jars off, because the juice does get in that water. You don't have to, it's not a rule, but you go to storing those jars for any length of time and you've got that water with the meat juice in it on your jars, it's going to start to smell. So you wash your jars off once you know they're good and sealed. Ooh, I hear this getting warm in here. Yeah, the canner's warm. Oh no, you never know, I might run my mouth long enough. Y'all can see that steam coming out of there. I can still touch it. It's still got a little bit to go. I just hope it works good on this flat top stove. I've never done it on this one before. So, I didn't see who that was. Daggone it. I should have got my iPad. Wait a minute, let me get my iPad, see if I have any questions I need to answer. Hold on a second. Just thought of that. Just because I'm using my phone, I can use my iPad and look at questions. I'd hate to do this and somebody have a question I missed when I go back, if I go back and check chat. Like, oh, daggone, I didn't see that question. I could have answered that easily. Let me see. Turn my volume off. Don't need to listen to me. See how far back I can go. Oh, it's only going to take me back a little bit. Okay. Manifestation, I don't know. I think it's 23 quart. It'll hold 7 quarts in the bottom or a double stack of pints. And of course, if you're gonna double stack, hang on. You have to have 2 of these. I showed you I put this in the bottom of my canner. Well, when you do your pints, you have one in the bottom of the canner, and then you set one of these on top of your pint jars. And now some people have one big enough they can do 2 stacks of quart jars. I don't. I can only do 2 stacks of pint jars. But you put this on your first row of pint jars, and then you restack 7 more pint jars on this. Let me see. See if I'm missing anything. Wouldn't let me go all the way back, I don't think. King Kratz, can you dye it green for diversionary tactics? Dye what green? I'm still looking. The hot dogs split. They don't crack completely in half, but they split. And then what I plan on doing is frying them to heat them up. That way, like if we're trying to save water, they're already in water. I guess you could dump them out and heat them up in the water that's in the jar. but you want them warm again, and I don't want to boil and split them anymore, so I'm just going to fry mine, roll them around and fry them. That's what I plan on doing. The kielbasa splits, that skin on the kielbasa splits, and man, that looks like a nasty mess in that jar, but it doesn't affect the flavor. Can you can everything raw, or do you cook everything first? Does it matter one way or the other? Jeep girl. I only, um, I have cooked all of my ground chuck and then put it in and canned it. Man, oh man, that is an extra step for absolutely no reason. Now, if you want it to be able to break loose easy, as a matter of fact, I've got a can of my ground beef. Hang on. Oh, no. I'm wrong. I could have swore I had ground beef. Let me look. I don't. I do not. Right off. I could go dig for one. This is ham. I went and got a ham and cut it in slices and chunks, and then I put pineapple in it. So it's got half chicken broth with some pineapple juice with some pineapples. I did some of it this way. Now see, this jar lost some juice, but it cooked my ham down, so I don't have anything that's not in the juice. And the reason I put pineapple in it is if we have a situation, I wanted holiday ham. You gotta keep it interesting, y'all. But no, I do everything raw. I did do that ground beef. I browned and cooked all that completely done. Then filled those jars, and then I was exhausted. Let me tell you. And it flakes. If you at least brown it. You don't have to cook it all the way through. See, I didn't know then. I cooked mine all the way through. If you just brown it, you can take a fork and it just scrapes out in just little pieces, perfect for spaghetti sauce or tacos or whatever in that jar. Now, if you solid pack your sausage, solid pack your ground beef, you need to stick a knife in it and like quarter it through to get it coming. And you always, now this deer meat is pieces, so it doesn't matter. But if you're solid packing ground beef, use a wide mouth jar because you cannot get it out of a regular mouth jar. But now I cold pack, raw pack all of mine now. Why am I cracking you up, manifestation? What'd I do? You did 8 pounds hamburger? Let me tell you where I screwed up. I did 30 pounds of ground chuck at one time. Yeah, I'll never do that again. My blinds are backwards. Honey, I've got my blind cracked. But this window is way up off of the ground, and my only neighbor is Ethan and his mama and his siblings. But yeah, this window's about 20 feet off the ground. So anybody wants to put a ladder and look down in those blinds, they can help themselves. But yeah, otherwise I have them the other way. Yeah, every meat that we eat, I can. No doubt. And I've had a lot of people tell me, Susie Kelly, glad she ate, that they've canned everything but meat. They're afraid to can meat. Oh my gosh, this is the biggest thing I can. This is starting to get hot. We should get some steam pretty soon. I buy cans of vegetables. I was going to can some green beans this summer. I just didn't feel like it. But that's the biggest thing I've canned is meat. Every meat we eat, I've canned. And you only can what you like. You only store long term. what your family will eat and what your family likes. You know, we can have all the beans and rice in the world, but man, that's going to get awful boring. It was the I can't see stuff on the phone. But wait, let me get my iPad. Oh, well, on my chat on my phone goes by and then it disappears immediately. So, in order to see if I got any questions, that's why I couldn't see it. Yeah, it just disappears. It's up for a split second. If it's more than just a couple little words, boom, I can't even see it. It's gone. It just disappears on my phone. So, but I have a I buy the boxes of hamburger helper. I'm looking for things that we can cook and not use an exorbitant amount of water. We're gonna need our water to drink and to stay sanitary with. So I buy um, um, my green beans already canned, my pinto beans already canned. Although I was watching Alaska Prepper and he did quart jars of pinto beans and they came out really good. So I think I'm gonna try some pinto beans. I just buy them in the can already. But that's to save, the only reason I do that is to save water. Um, the rice is the biggest thing because you go to cook them, people that are buying 300 pounds of pinto beans, you've got to store that much water or have access to that much water to cook those pinto beans. I'm not storing that much water. I'd soon buy it in the cans, then heat it up. You know, if yeah, it might not be so bad if it's just one person and you're just looking at 6 months to a year of food. But if you're like us with 8 to 10 people, enough beans, and I don't want to live off of beans and rice anyway. You know, I want to be able to turn those beans into chili. You know, I want to. I am going to teach y'all how to do the. Oh Lord, the word has escaped me. The soft shells for the tacos. You can make breakfast burritos. You can make tacos, soft shell tacos at night. You know, you want your bread fresh. So you got bread for a filler. You can use your rice for a filler. You can put spaghetti sauce on your rice. You can buy little gravy mixes and seal them and have your rice flavorful. You know, I do steak and peppers and onions with half beef broth, half water with the salt in it. Pressure that. Then when we get ready to eat it, I dump it out. Then I season it. And then I put thickener in it. I put cornstarch in it, thicken it up, and make it a little more of a gravy. And we pour it over rice or egg noodles. So you've got to give yourself options. You know, your beans and rice are great for your calories, but you also need your fruits, your vegetables, your fats, along with your carbohydrates. Of course, pinto beans are protein. So you just have to figure out how many proteins you want a week, how many vegetables you want a week, how many vegetables you want a week. And that's how you decide, you know, how much you need for each month. You know, multiply times 4 weeks or 52 weeks for a year. I do not add water or broth when I solid cold pack sausage or ground chuck. I only add water or broth or both to loose cubed pieces of meat. Jeep girl. I hear it boiling in there. We should have steam before long. 3.4 magnitude earthquake in Iceland 5 minutes ago. Oh, Lord. This earth is a rocking and a reeling, isn't it? Okay? Yeah, tortillas, Jeep girl. I gotta show y'all how to make tortillas. And then I've never made donuts or bagels or English muffins. Well, donuts I have, like with biscuit stuff. So English muffins and bagels. So I've never done that. So we're going to probably learn that together. I have done the tortillas. And then you can always, you know, fry them and make some chips. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with your tortillas. But yeah, I try to figure out what, you know, what we eat, what I can store, and multiple ways that I can fix it and prepare it. You know, we can scramble eggs and put some of those sausage bits in it. Or we can make breakfast burritos. Or, you know, you can put it on a pizza. You can make a pizza in a cast iron skillet. Sure can. So, you know, find multiple uses to, you know, don't do your diet any different. You want to look for easier ways to use less water when you cook if we have a situation, but look for multiple ways to use what you store. Store only what you eat, the kinds of things you eat. So now that's all I have canned is what we eat. So that water is, you just made homemade bagels for the first time? Oh my goodness, y'all. Alaska Prepper keeps telling me if I'll ever make them for the first time homemade, that I will never eat another store-bought bagel, so I'm anxious to do that. Oh my goodness, I laid that down. And so that's about it. This thing is a boiling. We should have steam coming out. I love bagels and cream cheese too. Man, oh man, do I. I can make a meal off of it. You know, they say man cannot live on bread and butter alone. Well, you know, I know we need the Word of God and, you know, that kind of thing. But man, I'd make an awful good effort just living off of bagels and cream cheese, bread and butter. I love it. I tell everybody that's where all my weight comes from, is bread. Love me some bread. Any kind of bread. So, all right, y'all. Any more questions? I'm going to shut this puppy down. We're about to get some steam out of this thing. I knew I could talk long enough. Yeah, it's barely coming out, you know, but that's not burning my hands, so that's not thick enough. Let's see. I'm not so crazy about the jelly. I just like the cream cheese. Although I do like that pepper jelly and cream cheese. Yes, ma'am and sir. Well, thank you, B-Man73. I appreciate you dropping by. You're a new name. Welcome, welcome. It's good to have ya. Yeah, I've just been doing all kinds of little videos. Did the macaroni salad, the potato salad. Showed you how to crack the eggs and gave you my recipe from a. So, it doesn't seem like I have a big crowd that really wants those kinds of things, but that's okay. Whoever watches, whatever viewers I have, my subscribers, if that's what y'all want, that's what I'm going to do. I don't expect to get a lot of views on. No, I have never made beef jerky. Never have. Gloria White, hi honey, I didn't speak to you. 777 Light Keeper. I answered your question about the beef jerky, but I didn't say hello. I don't know if y'all can see this steam or not. All over my shoulder, whichever shoulder, y'all can see. See, I told you there's always going to be clean dishes in my sink. Although, I emptied that sink completely out for Thanksgiving Day. Y'all missed it. I didn't do a live Thanksgiving Day. Oh, Jeep girl, you've got to be canning, girl. Please, Hall, you make beef jerky? Well, that little, now I'm feeling more steam. You can see it. Can you see that steam? When I was doing that, see that steam? Still not what I like it to be. I don't know why I can see it better on my camera. I guess that white stove behind it. Not quite. I guess we'll gab so I can show you what your steam. No, I've never made beef jerky. I like teriyaki beef jerky. And I could sit and eat a whole bag of that stuff. Darn tootin', Lisa Arhall. That's awesome. You're a hoot. I love you to pieces. See, and if you have to look too hard for that steam, it's not a good enough amount of steam coming out of there anyway. You want a good solid stream. I hope everybody's safe in the snow. Well, thank you, Glory White. Amos Black, I don't reuse my lids. Not the ones I pressure can. I don't. Usually I end up bending them anyway. They look like they could be reusable. If I could figure out a way to get my lids off of my jars, because I usually get a really good seal without bending the edge of them, I would reuse them. Well, let me take that back. I have had a couple of that I didn't bend, and I did reuse them. But all in all, hey, Ninja Scout. I just buy new rings. I mean, new lids. Keep my rings and buy new lids. Yeah, don't forget to thumbs up. I'll even thumbs up. Well, everybody's done a good job because we had 29 and we had 27 thumbs up. That's great. Everybody's so good to remember thumbs up. Hope everybody's subscribed. You're running out of room for your stuff? That's all right. At least you'll have it, you know? Now, I'm not selling everything I have and just prepping. I still live, you know? I still have my house, you know? So I like it. I'm not selling everything I have just to store stuff. Yeah, that would burn me. That's pretty good. I use here's my tortilla pan. Look, I got it wet and it rusted. Yeah, I can see that steam coming up there now. Still not quite as, can y'all see the steam? I like to have a good, I needed something dark behind that to see my steam. That's just about there. I'm just going to give it another minute. Put that weight on it, or not put the weight on it, time it. Time it for 10 minutes. And I'm sure some people probably think that's good enough. And they start their timer, but... And I still have this on high. I won't start messing with the temperature on my eye until I have the jiggler. Oh, that little, it's got up to pressure and the little thing's getting ready to pop up. So it is about time to time it. So we've got good pressure in here now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and time this for 10 minutes. Where's my timer? Timer. Right in front of me. Let that steam come out there for 10 minutes. Then, put my 15-pound weight on there. All right. I don't see any more questions. So, I am going to let you all go. Listen, Jeep Girl, I've downsized so many times. I've laughed and said if I do it one more time, I'll be living in a cardboard box. Oh my goodness, I have. I've gone from big house to middle-sized house to smaller house. So, Yes, Gloria, I've got me and my sister and her son and my grandkids, my 2 sons, my brother and his son. So, yeah, we got some prepping going on. All right, honey, or some storing of food going on. But luckily, I've got a good place to store. So, well, you're welcome, Barefoot Lass. So I hope everybody is not afraid now and gets a canner. Get a canner if you don't have one before they go up. Like I said, let's see, less than 2 years ago, this canner was $67. Now this canner was $115 or $119. I forget exactly what it was. But the prices are just going up. So get yourself a canner. Get an extra one of these in case you want to double stack your quarts. The ring inside of the lid, get an extra one of those so you have, an extra one of those if anything happens. But absolutely can. And let me tell you what, once you eat canned meat, let me tell you, I don't care to cook meat, and I've got a regular pressure cooker that I'll do my meat in that makes it pretty tender. There is not a more tender meat in the world, I don't care how you cook it, than what comes out of these jars in a pressure canner. It's impossible. My grandmother didn't pressure can meat when I was a kid. She did when she was raising her family, but she didn't do it when I was a kid. So I had never had pressure canned meat till I started canning meat. Oh my word, it is the most tender meat in the world. I mean, you cannot get, I don't care what you do to it. This pressure canner, I'm telling you, tenderizes meat like crazy. Or take my glasses off, and now I can't even see what's on my iPad. You always wondered what canning was? Well, there it is. Now, some people water bath their jellies and jams, but remember, if it has fat at all, an ounce of fat in it at all, you have to pressure can it, and pressure can it by your altitude. I'm over 3,000 feet above sea level, so mine is 90 minutes. Hey, Einstein's mom. Oh, Ninja Scout, Josh sent it over. Well, good deal. Josh is my buddy. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got good steam coming out of that now. Y'all see all that? See that steam? That's a good solid. It's still got 6 more minutes before I can put my weight on it. So, all right, you all. I hope you will now not be afraid and can. We're going to can some more. I don't know what I'll can or when I'll can, but anytime I can, I'll come on and show you what I'm canning. This is, I canned this February the 17th of last year. This is my ham and pineapples. So if something happens, I have got a holiday ham. See, I use cast iron Dutch oven and stack them from 1 quart to 5. Oh, really? How about that? I've got a Dutch oven, but I'm just going to use it for bread and cooking and stuff. I like to know I've got 15 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes, so I know my meat doesn't go bad. So, all right, everybody, I love ya. Remember, don't be scared. Just be prepared. Have your food already cooked so you don't have to do anything but heat it up. Share the love and the truth will come, and don't ever, ever forget how much I love each and every one of you. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. And I'm not sure when next time is. Probably not tonight. I've got some things that I didn't realize I had to do. So, love you much. See you, if nothing else, tomorrow for Mental Health Monday. Bye-bye.